Hello, hello, hello.
Morning.
Good morning, good morning. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's just us today?
Well, Randy's on his way. He's on his
Oh,
way.
okay, yeah.
Yo, we went live right at 9, which is crazy.
Oh,
I think.
we
Oh,
usually we usually don't go live on time.
yeah. I'm like, but yeah, here we are.
Uh-huh.
Stench hanging out already.
Oh, there you go.
Jody McPhee in the chat as well.
It's like
Yeah,
cheers in here.
yeah,
All the regulars are in.
yeah. And it's funny. I I've I could not sleep last night. I
Oh.
just had a rough night. It's
Hmm.
tossing and turning. And I got up and said, I'm going to go in the living room and do some work, which it should have put me to sleep. That should have
Oh,
put me to sleep.
that's a sure way. Yeah, it's like go do something that you have to. You'll be out like a light.
Yeah, yeah, man. So I'm like, and I just could not sleep. And the work I was trying to do, I didn't want to do, so I wasn't doing that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Because my body's found a new way to be lazy.
Ah,
And so around about 7 o'clock, I'm watching the news, and I live in a pretty quiet neighborhood. So the
mhm.
problem is when anything happens,
Yeah.
it's big news. And so but recently we had three things that happened out here that have been like, holy crap, that's
Right there.
yeah, yeah,
Right. Yeah.
and one thing was really big news, like a lady getting shot at. That was,
Wow.
hey,
Okay.
someone shot at her. That's you know big news. But more importantly than that, some unscrupulous individuals have been going around cutting Christmas lights.
Oh, is it that time of year again?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So
mean, yeah, it's like I remember like reading articles about, people who literally go around stealing like Christmas decorations and stuff. And I go, it's like, how gross are people?
yeah,
That is so grimy.
yeah, and so they got these kids on a Ring doorbell.
Uh-huh.
They got them, and they said they got some more surveillance coming in. That these guys are bound to get caught, but
They're not going to get caught. The cops are not going to go after kids cutting Christmas lights.
but I just wonder if my local the police department has nothing else to do but make that a top priority.
I mean, you know what? They'll find everything else to do, but take you can. I mean, because like I've seen. Have you seen those videos of people who like do like they have like people stealing their packages,
Mhm.
so they like create glitter bombs for them and
Yeah,
stuff, and they get them on camera, and the
hmm
cops are like, "Oh, there's nothing we can do."
yeah.
You know,
Um,
it's like too bad, and it's like what do you? Oh,
yeah,
it's like.
it's weird too because they say on the video they're like, listen, if because immediately I'm like, I wish they would.
Right.
I wish they would if I
Uh,
catch them. So I
well, then the cops will come after you. That's when
right,
they finally wake up.
right.
Yeah.
I fill my heart with warmth at the thoughts of what I would do to them if I caught them.
Yeah.
And I even, my son was up
Yeah.
getting ready for school, and I said, and he was watching the report, and he says, "Are they going to cut our Christmas?" I said, "Well, not if they catch him, but they say, the police are warning you, don't go out after these guys. I'm going running out in your robe after them."
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh man, what I would do to catch one of those kids,
Uh,
just one of them. And I start thinking about what I would do. And Caden looks at me, my son, he looks at me, he's like, Daddy, I think if you caught one of them, you have to shoot them. I'm like, whoa,
you have to control the narrative.
yeah, yeah, whoa, son, whoa, whoa,
And
whoa,
there's only one way to control that narrative.
yeah. And it's like, he's like, you bring him in the house, Daddy, and you
Yeah.
make him sit on the sofa, and then you shoot him. Like, whoa, this kid is 10. He's right.
Knows the
but,
deal.
but
He
he's
knows
right
the
then.
deal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no, in New York it's the complete opposite. Even if they're in your home, you
Mhm.
cannot do anything to them.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't even
Yeah,
in my
I cannot
in New
control the
York?
narrative in my own home. Yeah.
In New York?
Mhm. Yeah,
What?
we don't have like stand your ground or anything like that.
We don't have 70 pounds.
You can't even carry those. You know those cat keychains that you put on your knuckles and the
Mm-hmm.
ears become spikes. You
Mm-hmm.
can't even. It's illegal to have those here.
Well, I was
Yeah,
gonna say what's going on in New York.
you know.
Then I thought about it. It is New York.
Yeah, you would think, right? But I guess, I don't know.
I mean, you guys aren't known as being the most patient.
Yeah, you would be surprised. Yeah, that we're not like murderizing each other with our bare hands at this
Mm-hmm.
point.
Mm-hmm. I mean, also news coming out this morning from the Department of Transportation. They have ruled against allowing people to bring emotional support animals
Yeah.
on board planes.
Well, I've always agreed with that, to tell you the
Mm-hmm.
truth. I've seen every time I go to I would see this especially in Florida, but I've seen it here too, that people actually fake animals, the support animals. Like you can get like a certificate and a vest online on eBay, and then it's like their nasty little untrained chihuahuas are suddenly support animals. I mean, I even saw an incident at Walt Disney World where this woman, I guess, convinced everybody her dog was a support animal, and that animal was not trained at all to be in public. But
Mm.
technically, the ADA, you can't really push the issue, so I don't know, so yeah, so I don't mind that type of regulation, honestly.
Um, so if you guys, and I do think that I mean I like the idea of service support animal service. I like them.
Mhm.
Service animals are fine, but emotional
Right, no,
support.
actual service
Yeah.
animals, they serve a purpose, but the thing is though, if you can tell when one is actually trained to
Yeah.
be a service animal. Like there's no question. Because I've
Hmm.
seen actual service animals, and yeah, they're on a job that you can tell these dogs are working. But like
Right. Right.
someone who just wants to be able to take their labradoodle into a movie theater, it's like
Well, yeah, because they got the key to service support animal. People were
yeah,
bringing in
yeah,
whatever they wanted, and
yeah.
that was now. If you guys listen in the background, you may hear the sound of a flute,
Oh,
and that
someone's
is
being
because well, that's because my son is doing show and tell at school,
oh, okay.
and it has a musical show and tell.
Ah,
So he's got his recorder,
uh-huh.
and he's playing a song that's new to me, that is old to everybody else apparently. It's called Hot Cross Buns,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
which
I'm kind of familiar with it, yeah.
to me sounds like Three Blind Mice,
Ah,
but it's a different song. Um, but so if you hear that in the background,
right.
that's what's going on here.
Uh-huh.
Um, he's gotten a lot better though over the
Oh, there
last
you go.
couple of
Yeah.
days. Yeah, he's gotten a lot better. It was touch and go there for a second.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think music is a thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Eventually the sounds that sound like someone pulling on a cat's tail turns into something.
right, right, right. Um,
Uh-huh.
in the chat, Marvy's we got John Slasher. He says Kentucky is an open carry state.
Uh-huh.
Open carry weapon state. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that idea. Open carry weapons means you don't know what type of thing. I could have a gun. I could have a knife, a small explosive.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of the trade-off. You don't exactly know anyone's intentions. You just know they have it.
Yeah, yeah. I think we should make sure it's open carry weapon, meaning it's what I perceive to be a weapon. It could be an ink
Open
pen.
carry, barbed wire cover bat,
Yeah.
open carry, stick with a nail in it.
HG5 says hello, good morning.
Good morning.
And Ian says he's wrapped up his exams and he's sleep deprived. And he's
Oh,
not sleeping until he relays a message to Randy. Randy's at the dentist, but he's coming home soon. He just went in for a cleaning,
okay.
unless he ended up getting Dr. Isaac Yankum.
Then
Then he should be
it,
fine. If he got Dr. Isaac Yankum, he's gonna be
is that an anti-sponsorship?
Yeah. And I know Dr. Isaac Yanko. I was an old WWE character. He was a dentist, and he would pull your teeth out.
Oh boy.
Later on, he became known as Kane. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Right. It's
Speaking
been a
of,
while since I watched that stuff, so I'm
yeah,
behind.
I don't blame you. I don't
You
blame you.
know, like
I found out.
I think like the last stuff that I remember watching was like ECW, and I was just remembering Taz the other day.
Well, it's funny. Every time I hear like a Brooklyn accent, I
Uh-huh.
think of Taz
Uh,
because he's got this accent, and it's like,
yeah.
and he doesn't look at Taz like, what are you saying? What are you?
Right.
Yeah. He's like, you missed your shot of being a cop. Like he has a voice for a cop, a police officer. It shouldn't have robbed that old lady. We would have beat
Right.
your ass. Yeah. Diddy in the
Oh,
house says good morning. Good morning.
good morning. So we're like 11 minutes in. So it's like, are we going to show everybody our beautiful faces, or
We
just
are.
like
We are. I'm used
forever
to.
coffee?
Yeah. I promised. I promised Randy I let his coffee run. So yeah, I'm gonna
Oh,
run the
okay.
intro.
Uh,
Or show everybody how pretty I look in the morning.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, without any of my makeup on.
Right.
Any of that stuff.
We're all on natural here.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Let me run the intro, and we will hop right
Hit
back
it.
into it. Oh, I still got that up. It's like way to plan, man. There we go. Let me get rid of that.
Yeah, I updated StreamYard to
Mm-hmm.
their like essentials plan, which is like $10 a month, and I'm like
Mm-hmm.
getting used to all the new buttons and everything.
Yeah, they well, I've been using StreamYard for a couple years, not a couple years, I'm sorry, since they were in beta,
Ah,
and I've seen it grow.
mm-hmm.
But there's a point where you just stop caring, and you find out about the
Oh,
bells and whistles later.
right, yeah, because it's like I'm still kind of like tweaking stuff, and because I know I really should do like more live streams on my channel, so at least what's funny is that the reason why I stopped doing them was because I was using stream what was it OBS Studio, and there was
Mm-hmm.
another one
Mm-hmm.
uh,
OBS Streamlabs, OBS
yeah,
Studio, yeah,
Streamlabs. I was
yeah.
using Streamlabs, and for some reason my last live stream the audio was completely out of sync.
Mm.
So but luckily like at like 5-6 minutes in I transferred the video to a desk cam, so you're not watching me talk really, so
Mm-hmm.
you don't notice it as much, but like all the audio's out of sync, and I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't figure out how to fix it. But ironically though, it's my highest watched live stream, so it's like go
Yeah,
figure.
you know,
So
yeah. Uh, Lola runs through OBS, just because she needed a few more bells and whistles. Even though she runs
right,
StreamYard, she runs it through Streamlabs, so there's a
right,
bit of. But I am surprised by how quickly it works together. There's not a lot of delay, if any.
right,
Um,
okay.
yeah, but it's. I had to buy her a better computer.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
that's the catch too.
yeah,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
laptop she was using was ugh.
Yeah, because that's what I think too, that my Mac
Mm-hmm.
couldn't handle it. So, but for some reason I guess because Streamlab, what are we on? StreamYard.
Yeah.
Where, I guess that because it's not, I mean, it's like it depends on your processor, but it's not completely based on your processor. It tends to be more stable than what I was getting off of Streamlabs. So,
Mm-hmm. I don't think that. Well, I know when I first started, like there was not a lot of features here, and
right.
I joke of Randy refusing to use some of them. Speaking of Randy, he just popped in.
Oh, okay.
I joke of Randy refusing to use some of the features like the drag people around one like that.
Uh-huh.
Like Randy's
Oh,
like,
right,
nope.
yeah.
Randy's like, I will sign out, and
Uh-huh.
I'll move everybody around that way. But me,
Right.
like, I like this, kind of seamlessly doing it.
Right.
Well, they haven't That's one of their new features, and one of their old, yeah, there you go. One of their old ones is that I don't use enough. So I don't use enough banners. I really should.
Oh yeah. I was excited to finally figure out how you did those tickers at the bottom. So
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Nah, the tickers
So
were.
so is our mouth nice and clean, Randy?
Yes. I'd have been here sooner, but they wanted to take more X-rays, and then
Yeah.
I told them about the podcast, and they had to hear all about it.
Oh, of course.
They're like, you hit how many people? We got to try to get you out of here. Yeah.
We actually are live on the radio this morning, and we are. Let me see. I'm trying to see where we're at.
I tell them we hit 50,000 people. They should have seen the shape of their eyes. Got as big as plates. What?
Well,
Tell them we're looking for sponsors if they're ready.
What?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, do they want to buy advertising?
I don't think my dentist would get very much business from overseas if we.
Right. Oh well,
I think suddenly they're getting calls from Portugal and China.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be great.
He's not like Cardi B's dentist, where she completely blew up because she mentioned her in one of her songs.
Yeah.
Guys, I gotta tell you guys something.
I was able to stop and get coffee though.
Well, of course, yes. We must always get our morning
breakfast.
fuel going.
So it's so odd because I know we just discussed it.
What's the topic for today? Oh, we're not gonna talk about Wednesday's topic.
Hopefully, hopefully something a little bit a little bit more.
I mentioned it to the wife. She was very interested.
Yeah, it was that was Varian really had to take the show there.
Yeah.
She was like, "How much?"
It's like, the worst part about yesterday's topic is that you start trying to add up how many bodies it took. But anyway, like
no. Sometimes you just have to let art flow over you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Because some men can be rather generous.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And if you're talking about overall, like 5-6 years, maybe,
Yeah.
Well, that, and you consider how much a therapist normally charges.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's about the same level. And has almost the same results. Depending upon upon the patient or client. So
well, it's like I was once at one of my previous jobs, I was making copies of this guy's tax forms. And he worked at Pfizer, and the dude was making like $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
And I was looking through his tax forms, and I couldn't figure out what this guy did that was worth $500,000 a year. So you know what? Good for her.
Sometimes you're not supposed to. That's not your job to figure that out.
I was like, how do I get
let
in on
that
this?
slide? And be glad he reports his income.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm hoping that because she was willing to mention it, that she also reports her income.
Well, she was under a veil of anonymity, so she could be anywhere and be anyone. So.
Right. Or, but also at the same time, because of that, the story could be complete BS.
It could be. I did my,
because we all know Varian has a propensity for making up stories like that.
Well, the funny thing was, I went and I looked her up when I first said that's a BS email, and I looked her up and I found her Facebook. And I found her cosplay Facebook.
Okay. Well, of course, that's what she said she was.
Yeah, and I emailed the information that was there to her, and she emailed like, "Yep, that's me." And I was like, "Okay, all right." So that
she's real.
Yeah, she's real.
But still, though, we it's like
I don't want to blow her space up. I'm not gonna blow her space up.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But here's the thing, guys, and I wanted to.
But I would be very curious to know who she cosplayed as.
Oh, she's
probably everything,
Yeah, we're gonna like, hey, can I? Is it extra if you have her cosplay as a character? Is that what you're trying to say?
I wouldn't be surprised.
You never know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's a Starfire.
I used to follow this cosplayer who went into like softcore online porn, and she would do it in costume.
Mm.
Well, there's some incredible cosplays out there.
Right. Yeah.
You know, some people that really go all out with their costuming and that are just amazing.
My favorite are the cardboard people, where they make their costumes out of cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I always remember this guy who created this giant Hulkbuster out of cardboard, completely out of cardboard, and it was functional and everything. The head open. I mean, it was crazy.
It's
it was
cool.
just like it's all paper.
Yeah.
I'm at least all those Amazon boxes are getting used.
Yeah. You can sometimes you look hard.
There you are.
You can see the Amazon smile sometimes if you look hard enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Through the spray paint.
Right. We did the intro. I do have a topic or a story I want to talk to you guys about.
Okay.
But I'll let you introduce yourself first. Daphne, you were here first. Daphne, introduce yourself.
Well, hello. My name is Daphne Lage, and I am a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I am the artist of the funny animal fantasy comic Tall Tales and the fantasy drama Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, premiering on Kickstarter January 4th, 2021. You can check out my work and sign up for updates at get your pencils ready. We have a new website, egoworks.com, egoworks.com, which is my main portfolio site. And you can also sign up at my YouTube channel at Daphne Lage Art, Lage, by the way.
And Ego Works being a new website.
Well, it's new in a sense that I'm mentioning it to you guys, you know, as opposed to talltalesonline.com.
Yeah.
But I've had both websites at the same time. So
yeah. Good question. Just because those are pretty distinct, almost you would think email addresses that are website addresses that are hard to get. How long have you had like Tall Tales Online and Ego Works?
Well, Tall Tales Online I ended up with because someone else had already snagged talltales.com.
Yeah.
And what was funny was that it was a fetish website that did it. So I was like, okay, Tall Tales Online is fine. So that's how we ended up with that. And what's funny though is that recently, I guess it's like they sold the website and they were trying to sell me the domain, the Tall Tales domain, but I passed on it because I'm so used to Tall Tales Online.
And that was kind of been sullied in a way.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I guess depends on how I use it.
Well, somebody's gonna go there, you know, with Jim Bob in their hand, like
you never know, Barry.
Then they're gonna find your phrase. I'm like, this will work.
Right? Yeah, it'll be the opposite problem what most people have. They're gonna be looking for porn and just find fantasy comics.
Yeah, it's the opposite. Yeah, what happens.
You know, and then like Ego Works, I had ever since. Probably since college. I think that was like, I've
How did
had
you settle on that name?
It was it was a whole rigmarole through ElfQuest fandom that I came up with. Well, that I came up with the name Ego Raven, and then came up with the matching term Ego Works.
Okay.
So it was just like me coming up with an ElfQuest fan name at the time, and it just ended up like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're here because we have a email. I didn't get a chance to put it on a card,
right?
But it's from a guy who calls himself Hi Chief Sonny.
Hi Chief Sonny. Okay.
Yeah. We'll get to that though. Randy, who are you?
Yes, I'm Randy Zimmerman. You can call me Randy Zim. I am a longtime artist, creator, small press and independent alternative market comics guy who's been around for many, many, many years. I've published under Arrow Comics. I freelanced with a number of other comics. I self-published again under Arrow Comics back in the early 2000s. I self-published under Flint Comics for about 10 years, publishing my own newspaper that we circulated around Genesee County and the Flint, Michigan area. Went through 10,000 copies per issue, went through 100 issues. So there's 1 million copies of Flint Comics floating out there. Probably not floating, but lining bird cages and, and all that. But now I am a award-winning commercial and graphic artist whose specialty is advertising and education. And I am part of the Indie Volt podcasting network. I also have a YouTube channel called Zim Geek, Zimmgeek, that occasionally gets videos, but not often enough.
Occasionally, video.
Very occasionally. It's been a couple of months since I put the last one up.
I gotta.
I'm way behind.
Yeah, I gotta upload some videos too.
And
I almost get ready to do a video, and then we cover it here on the show, and I'm like,
yeah.
Well, you can always do a video, letting your real feelings fly.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's what I did with the.
Like you're uninterrupted, like just I don't care what Barry has to say, he's wrong.
I thought about stream sniping, our podcast, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, you could, like, let me tell you why Varian is wrong. Hello everybody out there, I'm Varian Grant. I'm the founder of Indie Volt Media LLC. I started making comics back in 2008. I am a comic book geek, artist, writer, publisher, philanthropist, because I give it money to comic book the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund and Hero Initiative. That makes me a philanthropist.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah. Retired Playboy. Retired. I try to be, but apparently there's rules against that in laws. People toss around.
Are we gonna see a shoe this early in the morning?
People
fly across the room.
People start tossing around words I've never heard, like bigamist before. I thought it has to do with my size. I'm like, what? It's not a fat thing? Bigamist. I better look that up.
A big what? A big what?
All right, and thanks for watching Indie Volt, guys. So this is Indie Volt Breakfast Buzz, and we're happy to be here with you. But I want to start on some good news, bad news.
Okay.
I got a
you might want to start with the chat, because there seems to be a lot of people in there this morning.
Yeah. It sounded like we have a full house.
People are talking.
Yeah. So let's see here. I'm Denny's and Naces. Good morning, Randy. OBS temperamental use from my early shows. Yeah, we were talking about OBS earlier, and Itchy wants to bring up the fact that Sting was on AEW, which really hurts me. Really hurts me. I didn't need him on AEW.
They had a great meme this morning of Sting with sunglasses on, singing at a microphone.
Yeah,
with Sting.
Yeah,
from the police sitting back.
I posted that. I was like,
"Oh, is that you?"
Yeah. I said, "Oh my God, that was Sting."
That was funny.
Yeah, and they apparently they got pictures together. I didn't know that. I was like, "That's cool."
It's hilarious.
Someone's got pictures of them together.
Just goes to show you people have a sense of humor still.
Yeah. Did you know the wrestler is the one that owns the trademark on the name?
Not surprising.
He owns the trademark, not the singer.
That's funny. But good for him, though.
I'm pretty sure Sting from the Police and I have the same birthday, so he just looks a lot better than I do. He does a lot of tantric.
I was about to say
meditation. Yeah.
It's the tantric and millions of dollars.
Keep me young, doctor. Keep me young.
Just keep an eye on your accountant.
Yeah.
Amen.
He says he loves StreamYard. He's grown so much better yet has, and we talked about that a couple of days ago, where I just found out that apparently StreamYard, Facebook was. Some people believe Facebook is limiting people's videos if they use StreamYard. I reached out to StreamYard. Yeah, I reached out to StreamYard. I'm like, hey, what's going on? They told me, they said, look, they seen that people have some people reported that, like, hey, I'm not getting as much viewers. And I was talking to them, and then I went into a chat, and one guy set me straight. It was one guy it was actually yesterday morning. He set me straight on it. He said, look, yeah, of course, Facebook is going to push people who use their products natively.
Right. Yeah.
But under no circumstances should anybody believe Facebook's numbers. When you want to know, when you want to believe that you got 500, 600, 800 viewers on Facebook, when you want to know that you got that, when Facebook starts sticking ads in your replays. That's when because then Facebook knows that you're actually, getting views. Your
numbers are real. They know.
Yeah. Because they know, not the BS they show you where you look and say, oh, my video has over 800 views on Facebook, and that's 800 scrolls.
Right.
That's 800 scrolls, which is still fine. That's still fine, but you know, it's disingenuous in a way because it does make people think, especially with COVID, that hey, I'm reaching a massive audience.
I mean, I'm reaching 800 people, and really, you're just hitting 8 people that are seeing you 100 times because they keep going through the same timeline.
Right.
Yeah.
But so you want to know when you've reached success on the Facebook platform when they start throwing ads in your content.
I guess you could say the same thing for YouTube too,
Exactly.
because it's like I don't know if there are ads popping up in my like you know, like us, like we're all demonetized because we just haven't reached the threshold yet. Not because there's anything wrong with our programming.
Well, over here,
right? But we just haven't reached the threshold yet. But the thing is, though, it's like I've heard the complaint that it's like, oh, I'm demonetized, but there's still ads. They still want ads on.
Yeah, we just were adding there. Yeah.
At least it's a good ad. At least you know what? It's like if I got that ad instead of I don't know, Liberty Mutual or something.
Yeah.
Well, it's all the algorithms. They set it up for, they know what their viewers are watching.
The only good thing though is that Facebook keeps their numbers secret.
Yeah. Whereas if they don't just outright lie about it,
right?
Just like Scholastic and Netflix.
But private entities.
But YouTube at least will let you know where you're at. YouTube will tell you, look, you got to get this amount of subscribers and this amount of watch hours. So you can go out there and get all the subscribers you want, but if your content sucks, then you're going to be in trouble.
That's the rough part.
Let me see here. It's all fine and dandy as long as the stream is in yellow, Daphne.
Well, yes. Well, you know,
or a dark brown.
Maybe up your water content a bit.
Yes. Hydrate's important. That's Stinch talking from personal experience.
Yeah.
Considering what he's gone through lately, we hope he's feeling better.
Hey, I just watched The Geek this morning. Great show. Now I see the same faces. Yeah.
Because we have nothing else better to do. We have all this work we're avoiding.
I had a dentist appointment, but other than that, we're just avoiding work.
Denny says, "Have I feel better my hospiitalization?" Yeah. Try not to go back. Try not to go back.
Exactly.
It's making sure that I maintain some type of almost my legs are starting to look better. I was actually shocked the other day. I went to go scratch my leg, and it was just like it reduced in size. Yeah, I'm like, there's no skin falling off. I'm like, hey, this is how it's supposed to look. This is great. It's turned back to its sexy caramel honey brown complexion. I'm like, yes.
Is it because maybe it's colder now? So
probably a lot less sweating opportunities for me. Stin says, please, let's get back on topic. Sexy shoe wear. Marv says, I saw the booth of Noah. I've seen the show of Noah. He's awesome. Yeah.
It was it's like that was it's really funny because we were talking about him because it's like I said, it's like, oh my god, 15, he has 10 issues, and and it's like I good for him. It's like in the end, it's just like, I wish I had that type of focus when I was 15. I mean, I was kind of all over the place. So.
Yeah. We all were.
It's pretty bad when you're sitting here thinking, what happened 15 years ago? Oh my God, 15, I've got pants older than he is.
Yeah, I know, for real. I'm like going, oh my God, they got an actual legit baby on the show.
We didn't know what to do with him. We're like,
that. It's also.
I didn't even want to ask for his for his social media because I'm going to get a call from the FBI if I ask him
that. Why are you
it's really a prime example of what initiative and tenacity, a little bit of talent can do in this market.
I mean, it's like, if he keeps going and he keeps really studying his craft, he's going to be amazing at 21.
Yeah, he's got a big jump on those 2,000 crappy pages.
That
you have to go through in order to become competent. So he's well on his way.
And let's hope that girls don't distract him, because they will eventually. If they don't, I'll make sure they do.
Okay.
Just to trip him up.
I got that girl's information. I can come here.
Because Zarion's a very jealous man.
Yeah, Minnie's
And he
18.
must destroy.
Well, that's might be one of the good things about not having conventions right now. So he doesn't go up to Neil Adams and ask for a portfolio review.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's. But the thing is, though, he makes.
You call that an ear, kid?
Yeah,
Anyway.
Neil Adams makes grown men cry. So at least at 15, we can understand it.
Yeah, we'll all get mad at Neil. Look what you've done.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess if anyone's going to make you cry, it should be Neil Adams, I guess.
I suppose, yes.
Yeah.
Stitch says it's great. Tall tells the man directing to a furry fetish site, and last call comments to Viagra. Maybe there's a conspiracy.
Hey, at least I can make the fetish site work.
Yeah. It's definitely good to hear a fellow wolf rider on the show.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's where it kind of all started.
I think anybody who's been into comics has at least read one of Penny's books.
Yeah. I was in the fan club and everything. I got the pencils.
Cool. Yeah.
Trico's in the house this morning.
We all have our loves. It's all cool.
Yeah.
It's all part of being a fan, or doing this job.
Yeah.
Randy has gray hairs older than that. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, no, for real. For real. I have one. I have one that's
that she'll admit to.
Yeah.
Only one.
Yeah. No, I don't have.
It's not going to be there for long.
I keep saying that's not gray hair. I have asbestos problem in the house. It's just falling off the roof. That's what.
Well, you're really getting old when you start growing hair on your ears and the front of your nose.
When you have to start trimming your nose, that's when it's like, this.
No, I mean the front of the nose, like a witch. I'm like looking and going, "What the heck is that?" Boink. Oh, that was on my nose. Anyway.
Stitch says, "Variant, don't send him phone numbers inside that spawn copy now for 16." This is send them. Let's take these. I'm gonna derail them. I'm gonna derail them for a little while. Grant says, "Sorry, I'm late. Grant, that's fine. We're here."
No, we're good. We're just BSing.
Yeah, you're fine anytime, Grant. These shows are always archived anyway, so you really don't miss anything. And we are told that we are some of the most entertaining podcasts out there.
Yes, we are.
Especially right now, because it's like nobody seems to be streaming.
High quality nonsense and nitwittery.
With quality, high quality nitwittery from the sup-ass boys. And
Seth said, "I wish I had known then what I know now about comics. I didn't take doing comics seriously until my late 20s."
Don't feel bad. I was the same way.
Same way.
And that's okay, Seth. There are people that we both know who are in the game right now and don't take comics seriously.
Amen.
Really. Yeah, for real.
You're totally fine. So I forgot my good news, bad news situation.
Oh, yes.
I almost forgot. So, guys, you know how we always love to see a comic store opening.
Mm-hmm.
It's great news.
Yeah.
Good news.
And I've always said, there should be a comic store inside of, malls. I don't understand why they don't go in malls. I was told it's because of the rent.
I would think
I could see that. Yeah. And the very thin profit margin that Diamond puts any retailer under.
Right.
I mean,
that's pretty close to unheard of
the closest
in any other market.
The closest I've seen to that was like like those nerd stores that just sell kind of like everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you have that corner with some random comics. That's like the closest. Yeah.
Right.
I'm happy now to walk into a lunchbox store and look around and go, "Oh, that's so cool."
Yeah.
They're used to, Games Workshop used to be like pretty much in all the malls, and I'm like, how do they afford these little figures? But I guess they were selling those figures for a lot of money, so I guess they could afford the rent. But so here's the thing: a guy is opening a comic book store.
Yay!
In the mall.
Good luck.
Unfortunately,
and we say that all seriously.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's one of the malls that we talked about. It's funny. We talked about in the show. He's opening a comic book store inside of Somerset Mall.
Is he before the Swarovski or after the Swarovski?
He's before.
He's definitely before the Swarovski.
Yeah. Because I was worried about that. I'm like, I even like, where's he going? Where is he? Is he going to be? What side is he on? I have to know these things because, and I know that people watching have no idea what the hell we're talking about. But there's the mall has two sides, and one of those sides is we joke about it's being the rich side because it is the stores.
It's just barely outside of Pontiac.
Yeah, those stores are the ritzy side. It gets a little expensive, and you know that you're going to the ritzy side because you pass this Swarovski crystals, and then you hop on this thing, which is you can walk.
Right. Oh, airport! Okay. Wow.
Yeah, you can walk, or you can get on the treadmill. That plays
Are you
music.
sure that's not Miami International? I
no,
mean,
no. That takes you right.
Wow.
I'm gonna say that does look like some airports I've been in.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
No, that takes you across
how
Big Beaver Road.
Oh, Big Beaver Road.
Oh,
yeah.
The famous Big Beaver Road.
Yeah, that's right.
Route 69.
That's right. That's right. So, and that's how you know. So he's gonna be on the other side. He's gonna be on the cheap side of that. And that's that thing that you see. That's from outside, and it actually goes across the street. But unfortunately, he's going into that mall, which I know has some of the highest rents in the country.
Wow, really?
Country, because they just announced that they were the they're one of them. They're the only mall not owned by a mall management company.
Oh,
they are owned by a real estate company.
Oh, and I thought kind of the same thing.
No. I guess the mall management company is a little bit different. So they're owned by a real estate company, but he's going in there and he's really excited. 2021 of he's saying March or April 2021. He's really excited. And I told him, I said, you know what? Indy will be happy to come out and do a show there.
We'll do a live remote. It'll be awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. That'd be cool.
I was like, I'm in this mall. I just paid $20 for this pretzel.
And you know what? If you can pay $20 for the pretzel, you can go shop. You can go buy some comics in his store.
Yeah,
you know.
Especially once the bug has passed, so that we can interview people walking by. Hey, what's your favorite comic?
Yeah. How to read those? What?
What?
I like when I do that Comic-Con. What's your favorite comic? I don't read comics. Hey, Comic-Cons. I'm like,
I don't even know where I am.
Yeah. It's like, sir, do you know where you are? Have you been kidnapped?
Or you walk up to some of these cosplayers and you ask them what the favorite story is with the character they're dressed up as, and wait for their response.
That would be an interesting one too. But you know, well, it depends, because I know at anime conventions they can recite stuff like I don't even know what you're talking.
Right down to episode and dialogue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anime kids are more intense.
Yeah, I watched an anime kid and Target about 3 days ago. Really, I've joked about it. I've said I'm starting to use slang from out the country because they don't know what I'm saying. So I watched this one wanker.
You
really
ridiculous yam.
Yeah. This silly git sat there and he was going through the figures at Target. And because Target has this collectible section, it's usually right off of their electronics now. So it's not, it's like they're high-end collectibles. And he's going through the anime characters. They got them in pins. Those enamel, they're not enamel pins, but they're called fake pins.
Oh, right. I've seen
that. And he's going through them all, and he has to name them all to the two girls he's with. And I'm like, he's like, this is this character, this character, this character, this character. And I'm like,
it's
bro.
How nerds flirt.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
And I'm like, I don't want to scream, they're not gonna sleep with you. But I'm but no, it was
you never know that either.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Oh my God, did you hear the way he said and you told me his name? I gotta get him. No, I wanted him to move so I can get to the Pops, the Funko Pops. And he did. He eventually moved when he, saw me growing and like, Next time I'll just run up to him and start touching myself, like, say the name again slowly. Say it slowly.
You're horrible.
I'll probably probably go to security.
You probably will.
Yeah,
security will come up, sir. You need to leave.
Yeah, slightly.
Not without these Pops, I won't. No. I do think though that the anime kids and the anime fans, the hardcore anime fans, they love their anime. They love those characters, and the minute some of them wake up and realize that they've been that their anime is being seized upon by some people who don't like anime, they're gonna be pissed.
I think that there have been, you know what it is? I think that there've already been some attempts, but because like the Japanese are like they don't put up with that.
Right.
It's like it kind of like just passes through. That's why I think why they latched on to comics so hard.
Right.
Because they really
over in Japan,
Yeah.
everything is already not pigeonholed, the wrong word.
Right. They
Everything
only
is
have-
already sectionalized.
Yeah, it's already like you
Yeah.
can find everything there. So
So-
it's like,
Yeah. Somebody who's attacking the boys anime will be
Yeah.
told specifically, well, you go over here and
Right,
you know,
yeah,
with this
this-
all girl romance anime, that's for you. Go.
right. Yeah,
Just go.
exactly. You know, it's like, you know, leave the hentai alone.
Yeah. And they don't have problems with gender questioning or
right, no,
Yeah.
and honestly, it's like I kind of like
Not
the
like
way
they do here in the States.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the way they categorize. You see, and the thing is, though, it's not that that the stuff is like strictly, you know, like pink and blue.
Yeah.
Because it's like my sister showed me some anime it's a fighting girls anime in a school. And it's like it's all like I thought that this was like, you know, something like Card Captor Sakura or something. And she goes, no, this is based on a boys manga. And it was like the craziest thing because like it's all these beautiful girls in the flowing dresses and they're, you know, sword fighting and a giraffe runs the school. And it's
Well, again,
like,
they don't have the hangups that we have here in the States as
Right,
far
yeah.
as gender
So
definition.
it's-
Everybody's just into whatever they're into, and whatever they're
Right,
into
yeah.
is what they're into.
You know, it's not like here where it's strictly, oh, this is for girls,
Mhm.
this is for boys, and this is what the boy stuff needs to look like, and this is what the girl stuff needs
Yep.
to look like. And it's
Mhm.
like,
I think that
Over here in the States, you have problems with like what was it, Rooster Tail? Is that what it was? Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
Rooster Teeth?
The site Rooster Teeth has run into a lot of progressive problems.
Oh,
Well, I think
Now and again,
the other problem is they can't get to the source. They can't get to who's making
true.
it because if like you can complain tomorrow, well, because you know where the source is at. A lot of them can't get to. There's a cutoff. You can't get to Japan to complain, even if you could.
Well, it's also high art, so they don't go around and hire people with no knowledge of what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Up there to work on those properties. Those properties get done by
what's
trained
funny,
professionals.
Yeah. Well, what's funny too is that like the artist who does Attack on Titan, when he was first doing the manga, he was criticized for the quality of his work.
Yeah.
Like it was, and mind you, if we were to look at it, we'd like, oh my god, you know. But he was considered low end. You know, and in the end, it's like he had one of the highest selling, and mind you, it's like, it's not like it wasn't really like crisp and whatnot, but it's not like this guy didn't have skill. So it was just like, I found it very intimidating.
Or that it's not like he didn't have an ingenious idea,
right?
A phenomenal concept that,
yeah.
Because a lot of times that's what sequential art is capable of, you know, and you learn as you go along, just like
exactly.
Noah.
Right.
You're gonna get progressively better until you're gonna be absolutely killer. And how many issues or how many episodes of Attack on Titan was out before it caught on?
Right.
It was probably out there for 4 or 5 years before
Yeah.
somebody started pointing at it. I didn't find out about it until 2 seasons into the anime. And then it's like, oh, this is amazing.
Right.
Stin says there's 2 local comic shops in my hometown. Where's one a comic book store and the other is inside the mall, split by a river. Go to the mall, you're in basic geek pool. The other is card crack and obscure.
Yeah.
Seth says nerd courting ritual. Try to look smarter than the person you're hitting on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait till you become married because of one-upmanship and resentment. Otakus is what a researcher is called. The database is called the database animal. Guess it only counts by the shells and not the bed. We BuZz vibe check. Otakus don't give a shit. Good morning, Heather Tucker.
Good morning.
Good morning, Heather Tucker. How are you?
Attack on Titan was released in 2009. The first season launched in 2013. Yes.
Right. Yeah. That sounds about right. Yeah.
I got a message here also.
But I have to say the soundtrack, the opening song on season 2 blew compared to season 1. Season 1's opening was really good. Anyway.
No, I wanted to let's see.
I've got a pirate copy of the live action, both parts. That's amazing.
Oh, okay.
Because it actually ends and explains everything, and you go, "Whoa!"
Right.
That's pretty hot. That's pretty cool.
I got an email from a guy.
That's tight. That's tight.
Tight. Not my tight.
I got an email from a guy who he said variant. He says I saw that the other day you had a PS5 behind you. How did you get one? Did you use bots? Did you use your IndieVolt connections?
No. So, tell him the truth. You drove all the way to Holland.
You stood online.
Yeah.
You stood online like all the other Slavs.
Well,
he had to drive all the way to Holland in order to get it, and going across the ocean was really rough.
Holland, Michigan, but yeah, I should have went to Holland. No, but I'll show you guys something. Allow me to be John King here for a second.
John King.
John King from CNN to bring up the political.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, here it is.
Talk about an obscure reference.
Yeah. So here it is. Okay. So I got mine from Meijer. Okay. Meijer is a chain of stores only located, they say in the Midwest, but on the East Coast. But it's like, well, East Coast is New York, and you guys don't have Meijer. So
I've heard of it, but
it's mostly Midwest.
I'm not familiar with it as a store.
So Wisconsin had them, Illinois had them, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky. They all have Meijer locations. Now, Meijer did something different where instead of just allowing you to buy the system online and have it shipped to you, you had to you can order one, but you had to go to the store and pick it up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, of course, people weren't giving a damn about that. They wanted that system. And if they didn't have a Meijer, some people were actually still on the website and saying, I'll drive to that store. Okay. So what you had when you get to the website at 10 o'clock, website was crashing. It was having all types of problems. I stayed up from 10 p.m. to 6 in the morning just to be told they didn't have any. Well, my wife wakes up at 9:30 and she's like, I'm in line. And the site says Michigan has them. And I'm like, no, it's impossible. I was there last night. They don't have them. Well, here's what happened. Okay. If you couldn't get them, where did you drive from? If people were trying to go from Missouri to Illinois or even up to Iowa,
and there's Missouri.
People from Tennessee were trying to drive to Kentucky. They might, West Virginia, they might go to Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Ohio.
So there was like this nerd migration that happened.
Right. On Thanksgiving Day. On Thanksgiving Day, this nerd migration that just happened. But here was the problem. Here's what no one looked at. Michigan was insulated. We were too far in for anybody to travel to because we were surrounded by states that had them. We don't border. We don't really border anybody, especially anybody who doesn't have a Meijer. So there was leftover stock in Michigan. So that's my John King analysis right there. They could not get. So that's why we had systems left over. Now, I didn't have them in my own community. I had to drive 2.5 hours to go get it. But that was the difference. That's why there was systems. Because look, if you drove from Pennsylvania to Ohio, you weren't going to drive into Michigan. You just weren't going to.
Yeah. You're just going to drive to the closest place that had it and then go home. You're not going to go that deep.
Right. Wisconsin has a Meijer. They're not going to come over to Michigan. Lord help them if they did. They couldn't. I mean, the ferry's closed right now. I think the ferry closed in November. Illinois, they're not going to come. Indiana's not going to come. They have Meijer, so they're not going to come. But no Missourian was going to drive across the state. So of course we have systems left. So that's how I got mine. That's a short version of it.
Well, they had the same problem trying to describe the spread of the beer bug until somebody pointed out that Detroit Metro is one of the main hubs that runs direct flights from Wuhan.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's.
Oops.
Yeah.
So we didn't just have it. We got it.
Direct.
We got it
fresh,
first.
Piping hot. Yeah.
New York, LA, and Detroit. Those were the three places where it started from, probably at the end of December.
Yeah.
So for that reason. But people have to drive up into Michigan, north, up into Michigan. We refer to north here as up north.
Yeah, I didn't use bots, and considering I don't travel.
You still had to drive to Holland in order to get
it. And you had to stand online.
And
that was what, a 2 hour and 15-minute drive for you?
2.5 hour drive.
2.5 hour drive.
Let's call it 3 hours of stops for gas.
Dead west, right to the edge of Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I played it once. I think it was more
Typical.
fun. I think it was
typical.
more fun to track it down.
Yes, I
and get
think that's what people get into. It's the
Yeah.
chase that's actually more entertaining than the games.
The
Yeah.
quest.
Yeah.
The quest is always
Yeah.
more fun.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Uh-huh.
sit like we did when we were kids. We would track down comics at the spiral rack
Yeah, you know what's really funny?
and
It's
go
like,
around try to find them.
Yeah.
you know what's funny? It's like, going back to discussing ElfQuest fandom and being part of the fan club. That's something that I miss. It's like getting stuff, like signing up for something and getting like a zine in the mail with some pencils and
Yeah.
it's like, and things like that. Especially the zine part. The fact that it's like, oh, Wendy Pini probably got an intern to go to Kinko's or something.
And and oddly enough, that's almost come full circle with stretch goals.
Yeah,
on your crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Stin says it's a requirement to enter Michigan and shoot a moose to get out the PS5.
That's how you get it. And then with that, the PS5 and the gold coins that pop out.
Yeah, it's not really a moose, Stinch. That's just a large deer.
The thing is,
you're close. You're really close. Yeah.
I knew I had moved too far out to the suburbs when two things happened. One, I forgot to take the trash out one night, and I'm like, oh, I'll take it out. It was like 4 a.m. So I grabbed the trash. This is my second apartment, and I take it out to the mound where we put the trash. Mm-hmm. And it's behind the apartments, and there's this like big wooded area, very nice and very, very quiet. And I'm putting the trash there, and I hear this shuffling sound. And I look up, and there's this deer with antlers looking right at me, and I'm like,
put the bag down and walk away. Slowly walk away.
And I'm
like, deer, you don't have to be afraid of. It's the bears or the trash bandits that you have to worry about.
So I'm like, holy crap. And it's weird because now I find myself watching deers out the front window, and I'm like, I'm not going out there. There's deers. Mm-hmm. Used to be dogs. Now I was like, nope. Not scared of. There's no dogs. There's deers. And they're all out there. Look at that one right there. Look at that one. Look at the size of that one. I was bloodthirsty.
There was a guy I used to work with that I guess like his aunt lived upstate, and they had so much deer in their yards, they'd literally tell the kids to go play with them. And it's like, and like they even had like brushes so that they can go out. Like the deer could care less. They would just sit there and the kids would be brushing the deer.
Go out and play with the deer.
For real. The only time the kids were not allowed to go outside was during mating season.
John.
During mating season, they can go.
I'm typing down here, asking for a request. Say I'm here, and just like I'm here.
Yeah, we see you as soon as you come into the green room.
Yeah.
But living in a suburb of Flint, we have 2 sensory guessing games every year. One is firecracker or gunshot. And the other one is skunk or pot.
Oh, yeah. Although skunk, I would think is a little bit more noticeable.
Oh, no, well, it's a little bit more pungent, but you almost can't tell the difference on some lower grades of
I guess,
pot.
I guess because it's. We used to have neighbors who smoked like the end of the world was coming, and so we would always smell it in our.
Yeah, that's why they called it skunk weed.
Yeah, but then when we ever went on road trips, we could always tell when we were passing the skunk roadkill. So
yeah. I'll tell you this: I had to chew CBD THC candy when I was recuperating from being hospitalization, and I'll tell you, you could taste that smell in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like,
ew.
It's one of the bad things about it. Yeah.
Right.
And then you swallow it, and you're like, "What does my breath smell like that?" But I've gone through the store. Like, I don't know if people think it's cool to come in the store smelling like it, but they walk past you.
I don't think they think about it. It's like smokers. It's like they have that smell on them, and I don't think they think about it.
They smell it long enough, the sensory just negate it. So they don't even know that they reek.
I know in Michigan it's legal now.
Yeah.
There was a guy standing behind us in line for the PS5 when it first launched.
And just token away.
Just token. And to show you how bad he was.
He wasn't smoking. He couldn't smoke indoors, right?
No, he was outside. We were outside.
He was okay.
Outside in the line. Yeah.
Well,
and you know what's funny though is that
as long as he's not driving.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys something. And you gotta watch people because the guy thought he was slick. He's sitting there hitting the joint, right?
But he's high.
Yeah. But he's high. So
that's the funniest when they think they're being slick.
Yeah. And so he's looking around. He's like, man, how many PS5s they got, bruh? And like, well, they say they got 8. Dang, 8. There's like 16 people in line. So what he does is that he's in the back of the line, he starts looking, and he walks up past 9 white people, because he's black. He walks past nine white people to the black guy behind me. Hey, cuz, what time is it?
Oh,
and the guy tells him, and then he just stands there. Trying to get the PS5. Yeah, hey, yeah, remember? And starts talking like he's with him. And I'm like, you think you're slick? You're trying to take cuts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm pretty sure the weed said him, yeah. No one noticed. You're slick. You're slick. And the weed's probably telling him, you just skated on past. No one, of course, he still didn't get one. Nobody after 8 did.
That they were that strict, yeah.
Yeah. But
you were number 8.
No, I was way back there. This is the night it launched. I was way back there. Like, oh, screw you guys. I'm going home. So I'm stopping by Krispy Kreme first, though. They're opening. They're opening. His weed getting me high.
That's a Cartman response.
Yeah.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
He's smoking weed right behind me. Now I've got a contact. I'm going over to the Krispy Kreme. I'll see you guys later. I am.
So at least it wasn't a complete waste.
Yeah.
He was just gearing up for when he got the system too, because pot slows time down.
Yeah.
For some people,
Then it was weird.
For our radio audience, we are joined by John Celestri.
Yes.
John, how you doing?
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, John.
Morning.
Sorry, Stitch had an F. Did he play his nigga PS5 as a kite?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Give me that system. Yeah, I copped.
Damn, man, how are you so fast?
There is a website if you're looking for any content, though. If you're looking at it's not a sponsorship, but it's called popfinder.com. FNDR.
Wait, let me get a pen. No, just kidding.
Yeah. But they do have consoles, but they started because they're helping you find Funko Pops, and somehow they've got a direct link into the store's inventory of what pop you're looking for. So
that's pop.
Yeah.
POP.
Yeah, not Pathfinder.
Suddenly we just jumped from POT to POP.
Yeah, well, but people were using that to find where the PS5s and Xboxes were. So it says they have 8 systems, and they had to put a warning on the site that says, "Be careful, be polite to store employees." And I looked at the code, and I'm like, this is really easy to do. I thought about putting it in IndieVolt. I thought about putting a comic finder into IndieVolt's website. So that you can go and find a comic at what store close to you, at whatever store you're trying to find it to.
I like Randy's idea the other day where it's like, if there was a way we could get comic books into dispensaries.
Yeah.
I think we need to do that.
Yeah.
We need to make a whole nother set of spiral racks and start putting them up in dispensaries and giving them a percentage.
It could be, so you have the comics, the brownies.
Yeah.
But you're back to the head shop.
Yeah, exactly. It's like time really is a flat circle.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you talk about indie comics.
Yeah.
Instead of hey kids comics, hey bro.
Yeah, exactly. Hey bro.
Hey bro comics.
Yeah, hey bro. I love it.
Suddenly Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers and Dope and Dan all have renaissances. That'd be awesome.
Exactly. You have the Girl Scouts selling the cookies outside. You come inside.
I want to
I could see that happening. I really could. That would be awesome. So they have those. They're set up now. The dispensaries here now are set up like doctors' offices, where you have a waiting room with magazines. Well, you don't have magazines right now because of the bug or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But you can sell comics wrapped, pre-wrapped of all sorts of types. Right, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Hey, Dope and Dan, I love that. I'll pick that up.
Exactly.
Yeah. But before I jump into High Chief Maivia's email, I can't call him High Chief Maivia. It's High Chief Sonny. But before I jump into his email,
that's right. We actually had an email too.
I want to bring up something that was posted.
We should probably, before we go any further, we should probably have John introduce himself.
Well, because I'm going to do that. That's why I want John to introduce himself, but because I have something to ask John about. But go ahead, John, introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I'm John Celestri, John the Animator. I animated Boba Fett in the Star Wars Holiday Special. I've been an animator for 45 years, working on films like He-Man and She-Ra, Rock and Rule, Dragon's Lair, Space Ace. Oh, he's holding up his
Boba Fett.
drug. I
Look
hope
at that.
Where?
Look at
There
that.
you go. Okay, I did that.
Isn't that awesome? That's awesome.
That's my introduction there. So I've been an animator for 45 years, and now I'm doing my line of comic books from kiddies to adult. And Bloodwing Angel is what I'm working on now.
And the other day, you were online, and I seen. I said, it's terrific. I want to bring it up because it's I love looking at stuff like this.
Okay.
And yeah, Randy showing all your
Awesome.
books.
That was your package.
Yeah.
The other day you posted a picture from 17th Avenue and 86th Street in Brooklyn.
Oh, that was an epic
There I am.
photo.
There it is. There's Little John.
Johnny the Animator.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, at the time it was Johnny the Bambino.
Yeah.
I listen. I still had a pencil in my hand.
Did you?
Yeah. 5 years old. Yeah.
I think we still have a building with that same architecture here in Flint.
Yeah.
Well,
That's exactly like
that architecture is still there.
Yeah.
The buildings are still there. They didn't go further than two stories on that.
Yeah.
In that neighborhood. That's Bensonhurst. That's about a 5-minute walk to the Verrazano. Rather not the Verrazano, but rather to Bay Parkway and and the water.
Right.
As we call it. So that's maybe about like 5 to 6 blocks away.
Right.
And that used to be all beach. That area. That's why it still floods.
Yeah.
And a little known fact, one of those apartments behind you is probably probably owned by
about $3,500 a month.
Yeah. Super expensive. Yeah, super expensive now.
Yeah.
I seen that picture and I seen you post it. I said, "Oh, we got to pick on him about this. This is great. He's so young. You look identical.
Everyone is so swank in that photo.
Yeah. I mean, that's they say his. That's one of my favorite photos. I mean, I remember as a kid being, liking that cap,
Right.
that kind of, that beanie cap sort of. It's very baseball, old school baseball cap kind of thing. You look at if you look at old turn of the century, the 20th century photos, you'll see they're all wearing the same kind of cap. So anyway, and I always liked the snap brim on my dad. So
I got some pictures of my parents. It's weird. I don't think though. I think one of us all in suits. There was you all had these gray suits on, and it was it's weird looking back on that picture because I look so young and don't like how young I look, man. I was like, what happened to my youth? Anyway, the High Chief.
This email.
The High Chief Sonny email. But I have to be fair though. 1 second. I did show John a childhood picture of John. I have to embarrass myself and be fair.
Oh, okay.
So that's from my Twitter. I posted that.
That's
back in your modeling days.
Yeah. There I am. There I am in the Kmart.
Join the toys.
It's funny. Wasn't yesterday we were talking about artists who are also models?
Yeah. The funny thing about that is I remember that set. I remember that the shoot. And I remember the guy telling me what to do, and I'm like, okay. And I'm doing all this stuff, and I remember like this is one of the first times, like this is one of the first toy ads I ever did. And if you guys ever notice toy ads, the kids they don't play like they do at home. Like when I play with my toy at home, I'm like, I got him here in my face. And when you're playing as a kid advertising, the toys are facing away from you. No one plays like that. No one. And so the toys are facing away from you, and they're facing the camera, and toy ads and you have so many more props than you would have at home. I never I remember doing a toy ad for was it Batman toys? And they had the mountain, they had this rock bat cave type thing, and smoke was coming out of it. I'm like, this is more elaborate than anything I have at home. I don't want
ruining childhoods.
Yeah. So the cool thing about that ad, though, if you look, I just added Target, and Kmart, and Lego in it, and they both replied.
Oh, that's good. That's nice.
Yeah, they both replied to the tweet, and that was cool. And they didn't send me any free stuff, but
well,
yeah. Kmart says, "What great memories," and they're true because they're gone now. No more Kmart.
I gotta say about the doing any shows that were on had toys in them. Invariably, every character had to be on the screen at the same time. They looked at it from that point of view. That's why you have so many crowd shots in He-Man, She-Ra.
Yeah.
It takes as much as the adventures could be good, it still takes away from the dynamics of what you can do because you're crowding everybody in continually. So it looks like it's more of a stage play than it is a film because you can't really say, well, wait a minute, everybody needs to be at a certain spot. So anyway, that's one.
Well, they have to show the range.
Always continue.
Yeah.
Gotta sell all the toys.
Yeah. I miss Toys R Us, man. I just have to put that out there.
Yeah, Toys R Us. I got a chance to work there 3 times in my life, and the first time was great. Second time was Third time was complete. I wanted out. And
because that was a job.
It was that, and my wife was my boss. And I couldn't handle that. I was like, I'm out of here. You ever tell the boss screw you and then have to go home and deal with it later?
That would be.
Normally, you tell your supervisor, F off, and you go home and you chill out. Now I tell my supervisor screw off, and I go home.
I'm surprised that corporate allowed that to happen because it's like in every place that I worked, it's like they didn't allow that direct relationship thing.
You know what?
They would transfer people to other stores to separate them.
Right. They might not have drawn that connection.
True. No. They didn't draw the connection. We weren't married yet, but I'll tell you what.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you what. She definitely dispelled any notion there's going to be a preferential treatment when she decided to leave me by myself doing a job no one person's supposed to do, and then I get hurt. She's like, "Oh well." Yeah, all right. Suck it up, Buttercup. No, she told me not to do. She told me they took me off. They took my help away from me because I'm supposed to have help. But she thought they were going to send someone else in.
Oh.
And they didn't. At least that's the way the story goes, correct? There wasn't somebody else in, and they did not send that person in. So I ended up doing a job by myself, hurting my back, and having to take. I think I took 2 days off afterwards. But
that was when a previous job of mine had me changing the blades of an industrial cutter, and I found out later on that I wasn't supposed to do that. That it was like against their insurance policy.
Yeah, you're probably lucky. Too. You didn't lose a finger.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things you don't think about until much later. Going, hey, wait a minute.
Sten says, I'm surprised he didn't get his Xbox Series X to mount his blunts. I hear the first series are smoking. Yeah, they are overheating. And he says, Daphne, Scout Comics has tried the idea of vending machines with bag floppies. Yeah, are those? I don't think those are real bag vending machines. I thought they were like cardboard cutouts.
I never heard that they were trying that. But good on them if they are.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute.
Rock and Rule.
You skipped Rock and Rule because we're talking about munchies and
yes, exactly.
If you go to Rock and Rule, you'll see what it was like in the late 70s and the early 80s.
And,
so there you go.
In Canada, that's why it's all legal there now.
I believe that's available on Amazon Prime, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you want to see some of John's work,
classic,
there it is.
Classic, yeah.
Marv V says, "See you later, folks. Have fun."
Have fun.
Marv,
see you later,
take
Marv.
care, Marv.
Seth says, John, I have an animation cell from She-Ra. Any chance I can get you to sign it if I mail it to you and pay for return shipping? And how much would you charge if you're willing to?
For safety, I don't do that, and the reason I don't do that is because I can't trust the way the system is going. I mean, I will go. I mean, in crowdfunding, it's my responsibility to get the book to you and such. I mean, even now, I've got a package that should it's like 15 days late going.
Yeah.
You know, and so I will not do anything like that because it would hurt me tremendously to to have you send it to me. I sign it, rent it, send it back to you, and then it gets lost in the mail.
Yeah,
and I can't do that.
It takes a detour through Paris or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Or through Pittsburgh. You know, it stays there forever.
That's what would happen too. Is that they'd send it to Pittsburgh, and who knows where it would go. Yeah. Don't despair.
I just, I thank you for that, but I just can't do it with any conscience.
Don't despair too much, Seth. There's going to come a time when this bug's over. We're all going to throw a big party. We're all going to get together, and you'll be more than happy to have him sign that in front of you.
Yeah.
When it's in both your possession at once, you don't have to rely on the postal system.
Yeah, we'll get John out here, and
John's in Kentucky. Seth, I know you're up in Gaylord, I believe. So Gaylord or Grayling, one of the two. So we'll end up getting together sometime soon, buddy. No problem.
Glenn says I did some modeling. I'll show you the pics, but can't post here.
We're not here to talk about our porn career.
Yeah. See, he was a Calvin Klein model on top of climbing Mount Everest.
Sid says, Randy, I got an Australian interested in joining the revolt. You think you can fit him in the spot?
Have him send me some samples of his stuff at randyjzim at gmail.com. RandyJZIMM at gmail.com. Be real happy to take a look at it, especially if he's a listener of the program, Stinch. Absolutely.
He's a dedicated fellow. And that happens. RandyJZim at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Grant says, I still watch some He-Man episodes. Yeah, He-Man's a good show.
We all have our guilty pleasures.
Yep.
Really.
The YouTube channel Retro Reruns got Rock and Rule up. Worth checking out. Seth says, totally understand the Metal's one. Got to keep an eye out for events when they start back up again.
Yeah, it's the safest.
Absolutely.
Because I would just cry if something like that disappeared in the mail. I mean,
yeah, you can't replace those things. You can't replace that. I mean, you say, "Oh yeah, I'll try and get." No, you cannot replace. Especially you're talking about an animation cell. I mean, that thing should be taken care of because you paint it on the back. The paint on the back of the cell. You got to keep it in decent. Temperate conditions. Otherwise, those things are going to be in the middle of a freezer somewhere, and the paint chips and falls off.
Oh yeah.
There's all kinds of things that could happen. Especially you're talking about a 35-year-old cell. Oh, please.
Yeah, it's like I had that happen to. I have a cell from The Secret of Nim that I had kept in a portfolio, and I guess it gets. During the summers it gets hot and I never thought about it, and I went to take it out and it was completely stuck to the background, and I had to leave it out and wait for it to unstick on its own. And then once I got that separated, it's like, okay, you know what, I got to get this framed up properly.
Yes.
Well, each if you have a complete cell, for example, what you would do is, I mean, in production, each cell had the drawing underneath it, but also had a thin piece of not parchment, but it was still I
didn't have that.
Right between the drawing and the cell, and that's in production, so that they didn't stick to each other.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's there are the analog material is it'll fall apart on you if you don't take care of it.
Because it's not even just the paint, but some of the ink had flaked off on the front too.
Okay.
So I go, okay, I got to frame this. I can't stand a portfolio anymore. Well, at least now I can see it every day. So at least that's the benefit.
I did some extensive research really quickly, and I scoured the web for Mr. Fleming's modeling. I'm shocked by what I found.
Shocked, I said.
Several videos. No, actually, here we go. There's good. There he is smiling. I
Not
believe.
not quite dissimilar to the photo of you on
And-
Kmart.
Right.
Who knew James Taylor had a modeling career?
No, I think he's either this is a photo for the anarchist cookbook, or it's for
That's got to be for fire safety.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looks
I
it.
think
Yeah.
the anarchist cookbook came out long before those triangle signs became popular.
So yeah, he's it's like everything you need to pretend to be a construction worker, and we were people with immediate danger.
Or a member of the village people. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, I'm still waiting to find out that he really did climb Everest, though. He keeps joking that he didn't, but it's like, dude, every time we talk to you, something else pops out.
Oh, is that Glenn?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey, don't you
Glenn, that's
recognize
great.
him?
Yeah.
No, I can't. Here, I'm going to have to enlarge it then, I guess.
Hey, I can try to make it a little bit bigger for you guys. No, I can. I guess I can't make it bigger than that. That's yeah. But yeah. So there's and you know
Well, that's cool though.
were you upset that it wasn't a safety science company? He says, yeah. Safety science company says,
Okay.
Look at me, I'm safe.
Oh yeah, now it makes sense. Sure.
Stench as wow. Jason Alexander retried out for that Unabomber role with the headshot.
Oh boy.
We're gonna pick on you about that. That's actually pretty cool though. The safety. I did underwear ad, and I was afraid that my friends are gonna see it in school. And I remember that being a really weird Saturday for me. Like, and then
Was it like Underoos or?
yeah,
I mean,
it was Fruit of the Loom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess if it was Underoos, it'd be a little bit more cooler.
Yeah, I remember that being.
I don't know. I just posted a video of a guy in some underoos a couple days ago.
Oh, I saw that in the Aquaman Underoos. Yeah.
Yeah,
because they made those. They made like a limited series for adults.
I had some underoos a couple days ago.
Is
Where's the echo?
Okay.
My echo was me. I was trying to answer Joe McPhee, and I can't. There's too much of an elaborate thing back and forth, so forget it.
You can talk to Joe directly. He's always
I know. Well, I can't. I can't answer his comments.
Seth says, "Yay, Gaylord! Yay!"
Let me see here. The High Chief.
Yes. Okay.
Sooner or later,
eventually.
Yeah. You know, we still have the rest of that email from Eric that we need to get to too.
Yeah,
You guys finished that?
No, we only covered like 5 points.
Wow. Okay.
Out of the 30 or so that he sent.
Yes. So you guys want to read the High Chief one, or?
Well, you keep bringing it up, so now
you're gonna need to.
So might as well just go for it.
So let me see here. So High Chief says, High Chief Sonny says, crowdfunding, in his opinion, is seeing a drop in quality comics. The crap is out there now. I think the quality comics come seasonally. In the summertime, you see A+ artists putting out good quality books, and the wintertime, late year, seems to see the crap artists, first time people coming out and putting out books. They sometimes don't even ship. What is the take over here at IndieVault on that?
Oh, that's an interesting take.
Yeah,
I mean, because it's now it's like I'm imagining, like, wow, is that something that can be mapped actually?
can we map it like it's lame duck season?
Get the charts going.
Art is so subjective. I don't think that rule really applies.
True. Yeah.
For one, and for two, it's up to everybody's individual schedule. That might be his perception that the crappier stuff comes out during that period. That could be just from his observation of going, that book's shit. That book's cool. That come out this part, That obviously it must be seasonal, but I don't think it really holds true. I know that there are some months that you don't want to do a crowdfunding book, like December. You don't want to do a crowdfunding book in December that's not going to come out until March or April because everybody's saving for Christmas. Right. But that's not because of the quality of your book. That's your quality of timing.
Yeah. Because I was told not to do a Kickstarter in January, but at the same time, it's like, January just seemed like a good month for me. Like it's the beginning of the year, it's after Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know, I'm taking a chance.
Yeah, and hopefully,
Right.
people will have money after Christmas. So.
Yeah.
And everything's screwy, and everybody's off this year anyway, so nothing's really going to apply. I don't think any of those old traditions. When I used to do print comics, February used to be the worst month to solicit books through the direct market. I mean, just absolute. And we'd go, oh, we're going to do that in February. Can't we push it off until March at least? Jeez. Because I think Anniversary 2 come out in February. And any book that we went through the direct market in February was always low. We always saw a dip in sales.
I think right now there is such a problem financially for people who support comics or buy comics.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't count on anything other than those who really, 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 really want it.
Yeah.
You can't introduce, and usually it's for something that they already know about. When you're doing something new, when you're introducing yourself, it's really tough to ask somebody to decide $25 for somebody I know, even $20 that I don't know. And they're still going to. I mean, it's not like it's a $2 book,
Right? Yeah.
That's
those days are gone.
and I'll say this here: even with a $2 PDF, people are reluctant to try something, and because they say I don't like PDFs. So
yeah,
that's the difference, And so you really don't know. And when people are scared and financially, and that's what we're in a scary time. You just you pull back from so much, and you just instead of saying, "Yeah, I could do it, I'll test it out." So it's human nature, understanding and the weariness and what they're balancing, where their dollars are going to go. That's that we all have to understand.
And the thing is that with Kickstarter too, I mean, it's like also you got to remember is that Kickstarter, it's like if people are on Kickstarter, they're dedicated to buying stuff on Kickstarter. So it's like I think it has less about like, oh, what's a good time to launch on Kickstarter, as opposed to what is my audience interested in right now? It's like, so if you have a dedicated audience, it really shouldn't matter when you launch your campaign. Because it's like, Kickstarter is good in a sense that it allows casual browsing, and they find you, they can find you that way. But it's like you kind of have to gauge your own audience rather than, oh, what's going to work best on Kickstarter. And also I kind of wonder whether the fact that so many people put out their stuff in the summer is because that's when San Diego
used to happen.
So it's like, so there's like this because it's like when San Diego was a thing, when we were doing it, it's like we always made sure to have our new books ready for that time of the year. So it gave us something to, like, a goal to work towards. So I'm kind of wondering if people are still keeping up that habit, so that when the conventions come back again, they're already producing new work for the annual big shows.
I do want to say this, and maybe it's playing devil's advocate a bit, but I don't know if it was Randy I was speaking to, but was noticing a lot of the extreme numbers have dropped. Like I'm crowdfunding. I was seeing people, I've seen some numbers, some campaigns.
We were just talking about that yesterday.
Was that me and you? Okay, I can't remember. That was me and you.
But I think the reason you saw those numbers drop wasn't because of crowd or because of people's lack of money. It's because of the transparency that people have with podcasting and that. And those people have literally done things to chase off their audience.
Yeah. Also, I think that also a part of that too is that a lot of the hype kind of wore off. Like there was a lot of people supporting books that maybe, I guess to put it kindly, didn't deserve that type of
Mhm.
support because it was like a novelty. And then it's like, okay, they get the first 1 or 2 issues and then they go, okay, I'm done. I don't need to support this anymore.
Mhm.
You know, like whatever like reason that they like they were buying the book for a reason other than and they wanted the book.
Good morning, Brian.
So it was
I-
very easy
I don't
for
know if that-
them
I don't
to
know if that's
abandon it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
I think
know?
I
there
don't know
were
if
some
that's
people
really
were
the
buying.
case.
So what you think? You think some people were buying books that kind of snub their nose at?
Right, like they were buying it for I don't want to use the word agenda. That's not what I'm looking
Well,
for.
the
But
numbers that pardon, the numbers that we were looking at yesterday, these folks had gone through and done things intentionally, had posted
right.
on Twitter feed or whatever to chase
Oh,
off
that's
certain
true.
sections of their
Yeah.
audience, and those people left.
Well, that's true too. That I believe that too. I mean, it's like there are artists that I completely, like stop supporting like a hot potato because like, oh, you're an asshole online. I don't
Yeah.
need that.
Yep.
It's like,
But but crowdfunding for the most part supports the artist. So if you don't have a good relationship, whatever you call
right.
it,
Yeah.
if you don't have a good feeling towards that artist, you don't want to help that artist. That's something else. I think the quality, the crowd, we're going through this. It's kind of like the Wild West. Oh, look at this. Listen to that. The hardest thing to do is to maintain an audience. And that means writing. Artwork in many ways is secondary to the storytelling capability of your creator. And
we were
if you're
just talking about Attack on
stuff,
Titan earlier. That's a prime example of that.
Yeah. So you get that big idea, and you say, okay, it's a great concept, but you can't do more than one book.
Yeah.
However it is, and unless you have, it's kind of like doing a TV series. The British have a great way of approaching their series. When they call a series, it may only go for like 10 episodes, and that's that.
Yeah.
It's very hard, if we're watching a whole bunch of them on Acorn. Great writing, great
Endeavor.
acting. Okay,
watching Endeavor.
In the Line of Duty is a great series. Murphy. It is a great series. The writing is great because they give you twists. You don't know what to expect, but it's in the writing and then in the personality, and then so. Drawing is the actor, but you still have to have the director and the writer to make it work.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. So
Varian, I know you saw it.
I'm sorry, I had to go away from the page for a second. I was answering. What did I say?
I know you saw it. Stinch.
Oh.
Stinch come in and said, I'll shoot my first crowdfunder in underwear to pay for my sins. And you know what that means.
Yeah.
That's our shit Stinch says episode today.
Yeah.
This is our comment of the day.
Yeah.
We found it. Comment of the day. Thank you, Stinch. You never disappoint.
Yeah. It's just like if the crappiest stuff, he also says the crappiest stuff comes out by winter, BrEaKfAsT is in trouble. Quarter one physically.
Oh yeah.
Quarter one physically. They no one will want their shit to come out in June or in the winter time. Quarter one physically may suck, but quarter one digitally is a new ball game we've yet to quantify.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very true.
Who was it?
There's certain people that like I said, it's more about the audience, about what audience you've already cultivated. Because there are people that they could put out stuff on New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll probably make their goal that day. I mean. Because I remember that there was like a lot of concern at the beginning of lockdowns and all that. It's like, oh, is it proper to put a Kickstarter out when everyone and then it's like it didn't change anything. Todd McFarlane still made $2 million, so it's like it's. I think that this is less of a Kickstarter thing than an individual artist thing. But like Randy said, quality is very subjective, so we don't want to each one of us have different books in our head, you know, that we're thinking of when we think of crappy.
Yeah.
You know, so
and
we
right
can't
now, when
say
it comes
if it's
to
a pattern or not.
and right now, when it comes to crowdfunding, like we keep saying, it is the Wild West, and people are making and defining the rules as they go along. The stuff that works, the stuff that doesn't work, the stuff you don't want to do, the stuff you do want to do. And we don't know, like Stinch said, we don't know how the first quarter is going to settle in. Yet we still have a few first quarters to work on in order for us to realize what's working and what's not working.
You know, I remember Punisher Warzone, that movie with what's his name? Ray Stevenson? Is that his?
Dolph Lundgren?
No. The one with Ray Stevenson.
I think that was like the
I can see him in my head.
Ray Stevenson. Ray Stevenson.
Oh, Ray Stevenson?
Yeah, Punisher Warzone is Ray Stevenson.
Okay.
And he went on to be Heimdall, one of the Warriors 3 and the Marvel movies.
Okay.
But he the director of that movie, she was she said that she didn't want, they moved the movie from summer to winter, December 5th. And she was like, "Oh, you know, I know people are saying that that's a
bad sign,
bad sign. But the peanut counters have told me that's actually a good thing. That's
didn't Deadpool come out in February?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently, there's a big disconnect after Thanksgiving till like after Christmas Day. Yeah. They say that's actually a dead zone. Christmas Day is good for movies. People go to movies on Christmas Day, but then January is starting to turn around and see big hits in January and February. It used to not be the case, but they dumped that movie in December.
A lot of your larger studios would hold off on their movies if they got back their advance ratings. For their audience testing and it was low, they would hold off on it until January and February because more people were more likely to go and get warm in a theater and watch a bad movie than they would in the middle of the summer. So they saved all of your big blockbusters are in the summer in order to drive people to the theater.
But it used to be Christmas time and what that was used to consider to be a dead zone. Also, I mean, I remember, 20 years ago, they started putting Christmas Day openings. Because, I mean, people wanted to do stuff. And so, but it used to be just summer. Then it became, we can't do anything in wintertime because it's all, and in fact, you know what it is? If it's a good movie and you've got, a smart enough, campaign, you should be able to it depends on where the finances of the people are.
Right.
And nobody at the studios used to look at March or May. I mean, May. They used to look at May as doing anything until Jaws came out.
Yeah, it's always color. I'm kind of what was the movie that came out this summer that defined
Take care, Grant.
blockbuster?
That what?
What was the movie that came out like defined the summer blockbuster? That's like, it has to be a summer thing.
Well, pretty much Jaws started the blockbuster type runs, and then Star Wars kicked in like a year or two after that.
But that came out in May.
Movie. Jaws was really the first movie that I remember that actually had people lining up outside of the theater.
And then in the 90s. Will Smith took over the summer for like 7 years. It was like
say what?
Will Smith took over the summer for like 7 years.
I'm not releasing Independence Day.
But listen, in the 50s, I remember lining up in the outside of the Lowe's Oriental, my neighborhood. Everybody went to the movies then.
Right. There was
and Toronto was a great movie town in the 70s. Everybody went there. That was before everybody went to the movies Friday, Saturday. So it didn't matter. People just went, and you'd queue up, and there'd be 50 people online, waiting for anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I remember the days that we would just go to the movies and we would see the weirdest stuff just to be outside.
Just to be away from the house.
Exactly.
I used to catch every midnight show I could find. I was on third shift when I was working at Circus World. Used to have to drive a half an hour from my parents' house in order to get there. And I was on a third shift schedule. So I'd tell the parents, I'm on a third shift schedule. I'm going to go catch this midnight show.
Yeah.
They didn't know what I was watching.
So how many midnight screenings of Rocky Horror did you see?
I had some buddies back when I was running the pinball arcade. We would all jump in a van and run over there. We'd make whole kits that we'd go to the theater with toilet paper and a bell and a rice and all sorts of stuff. We sat through, man, probably 20 times at least that we would run out and watch that. But there was a period that I was after Star Wars come out that I went to see every movie that hit the theater.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big movie buff for a couple of years there. Saw like Pink Panther double features and Woody Allen films and all of that back during that time when it was out, you know, when they were coming out, just to go to the theater and have that experience. But we also had an awesome theater here in town, Flint Cinema, that was this big grandiose theater. Mm-hmm. I saw Empire there, and experiencing a movie there is so much different than seeing a movie at one of the megaplexes now, because that theater was one tremendously huge
like
screen.
An arena. And there was so
like
many
an arena
seats in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I remember seeing the Lowe's Oriental in Brooklyn. If you were Daphne, you may know. It was a huge theater. I think at first it had your orchestra and whatnot.
Right.
Yes. And then you had the balcony.
Yes.
And it had a stage because it was the area. It was the biggest theater in the area, and they would have shows. I remember seeing, you'd see the Three Stooges, come. This is when you had Bo, Larry, and Curly Joe.
Yeah,
would come there, and they do that thing. Johnny White, what's his name? Jacques Mahoney would do a special appearances for the Tarzan movies. They had a stage. They had an orchestra pit.
Yep.
You had all of that there, and that got all decimated with all these multiple.
Well, a lot of the
there was a theater near me
big,
like that.
Yeah, a lot of the big size towns around here would have a combination theater and stage set up so that they could do the stage plays or did the stage plays at the theater. And they used to have traveling vaudeville troops would come in and perform on those stages and not necessarily show a movie. So they've had, like, we had the Marx Brothers pass through here in Flint. That was at one of those theaters that would pass through. We still have the Whiting Auditorium down in our cultural center, which is capable of doing incredibly large stage productions. I mean, near just barely off Broadway shows that are amazing, and also show movies. They just bring down a big screen, and that's got 3 tiers and big balconies, and that wraps all the way around. And the acoustics in that place is just incredible.
Guys, I wanted to bring up 2 things. One might, I don't know if Randy will be particularly happy about, but I don't think it's in particular. He might say, well,
is it about Scholastic?
Because I don't think that Randy, I don't think that he may not appreciate the story, but he doesn't want to see the creators get screwed.
Okay.
But first, before we do that, speaking of screwing creators, I found more Glenn. He made the cover. And he made the, what's a free phone and a free fax? Is that like toll free?
Probably, yeah,
probably.
Free. Make sure you use a free phone, you bloody wankers. Yeah. Yeah. We call that toll free here. We don't have a free fax. You're paying for that fax. We never had.
Right.
Yeah. But I just got a message here. Somebody wants us to talk about. They said, "When are you guys going to talk about Alex Ross?"
What about Alex Ross?
Alex Ross says, "I got screwed. He's been screwed."
Well, probably, most likely.
Were we
working up with big companies? That eventually happens.
Yeah.
Were we remotely going to talk about that, because that's becoming a very big problem for these folks that worked in the mainstream, because Alan Dean Foster is currently experiencing
I was about to mention that too.
That same problem with Disney.
Crazy.
Yeah. Because this is and it goes back to that Spider-Man deal with Sony, and why Sony doesn't want to be bought out is fighting to be bought out by any big studio. Because the minute that happens, the rights for Spider-Man, once Sony is bought out, Sony no longer exists, and all of those contracts are negated.
Yeah.
Right,
so the Spider-Man rights are going to revert back to Marvel the first minute anybody buys Sony.
But that what Disney is doing is grimy though. What they're saying is that they have like
Well,
they have the right to make money off of you, but they have no obligation to pay
Right.
you.
Right now, Disney is billions in debt, and they look at that
Yeah.
as business
Yeah.
as usual.
Oh no, that didn't surprise me, but it's
same thing with
grimy.
AT&T and Alex Ross. No, none of it's fair. None of
Yeah.
it's fair. No.
Like yeah, the contracts are nullified as long as they still make money.
Well,
Yeah.
let me explain to people what's happening.
Yeah.
Alex Ross is stating that he is upset because his designs are being used. He designed Batwoman, the current costume,
Mhm.
used in the TV show. He also he's saying that they did not, when they wanted to bring Brandon Routh's Superman in, rather than do a deal with Bryan Singer and his production company, because they have to do that, even though it's the same company.
Yeah.
Rather than secure those rights, they went ahead and said, "Oh, we'll just use the Kingdom Come outfit. We have to pay anybody." And they didn't pay him for that. They didn't pay him for any of the influences.
You'll notice the check stopped when AT&T became the owners.
Mhm.
They didn't stop while Warner Brothers was still in possession, because Warner's was still honoring and had generously been paying some great royalties.
Because
It's just that those
Man of
stopped within the
Steel-
last year and a
Yeah,
half. Just
because
done.
it's like Man of Steel was all Alex Ross. Like, they were like swiping panels left and right, and he wasn't complaining back then.
His
Yeah.
complaint
So-
is his
Yeah.
complaint is that the Brandon Routh costume that he was in the CW Crisis series is the Kingdom Come Superman
Right.
outfit, and he didn't get no notification. He didn't even get an
Right.
acknowledgement for creating it.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right though. The bigger company comes in and they're like, "Oh, we don't care. Fight us." You know,
Yeah.
and that's how it's like, fight us. Go ahead.
Oh, that contract
Yeah.
that contract was with those other guys. We bought them other
Right.
guys. We don't have to do that.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
funny. It's like there was back in the 80s, there was a thing that Donald Trump had said that always stuck with me. And it says a contract is only as good as the lawyer you have to break it.
Yeah.
You know,
And
I mean,
AT&T has those lawyers.
I mean,
Yeah.
the sad thing is he's kind of right.
No, that's exactly. That's why it's like, it's like, look, it doesn't matter who said it, that's truth. There's no lie detected there.
Well, with
And that's
with these
what's
larger corporations, it's just a matter of deciding to ignore it.
yeah,
it-
exactly.
It's basically might makes right, and
Yeah.
that's the whole, and that's what capitalism unhinged, is what happens to you.
And the truly sad thing is that it's not worth the negative publicity that these guys will be receiving and are already receiving to burn these guys, because they're not asking for a lot of money.
No,
they're just
it's-
asking for the acknowledgement and a little money for that acknowledgement. And
that's the thing.
yeah, it'll come back to bite them on the ass later, because you don't have a more realistic superhero painter than Alex Ross or visualizer. And a lot of these costumes, don't look right unless you have somebody in your production art department that goes through and visualizes what that costume's going to look like inside of a real human being.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they just burned an incredibly major bridge and an incredibly talented bridge when they decided to flip the bird at Alex Ross.
Yeah.
And now Alex is going to go out and tell everybody else.
Yeah.
You
And
guys
then
are all
what's going to happen
screwed.
is that there's going to, just like in comics, there's going to come a point where creators are going to stop creating for them.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's like, that's why they keep, you kind of wonder why they keep rehashing the same IPs over and over again. It's because everybody else is saying, it's like, you know what, screw you. I'm keeping my ideas for myself and going to Kickstarter.
This is one of the prime reasons why you still want to have works out there like Atlas Shrugged, to point out to people what happens when you deprive the creative.
Yeah.
And if the creative stops creating, what ends up happening eventually to society. And that's really what we're seeing now.
Yeah,
You're
for
seeing the
real.
quality of work just constantly being degraded. And all of these IPs are dropping, these franchises are dropping like a stone in popularity and merchandising money and generating money, because the really creative people are walking.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing that too. Even in like graphic design and everything, you're just seeing like a lower and lower quality threshold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I'm looking at like I have these Disney magnets and I keep staring at them because the graphic design on them is so shoddy, and it's like, and I can't like they just got some intern to put some fonts in a place and that's it. And I'm like going, what's but yeah, a friend of mine who's in advertising, he says that this has been happening for the past like 15 years, especially.
Yeah, because at some point you can't. It doesn't matter, how much money you throw into a production. If it's shoddy, it'll just fall apart.
Yeah.
Before it can. I mean, the first if there's a whole problem with things being so expensive, but how much of that really is just icing on a rancid cake?
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, people say, "I really don't want this."
Right.
Lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Imperial Vol says Alex Ross is like, okay, superheroes. Let's take them and depict them realistically. So it looks like a pathetic and possibly unbalanced person running around in a Halloween costume.
It's a fine line. It really is.
It is. Yes,
costume
it is.
design is a very fine line.
We can't get better than Mike Grell's Cosmic Boy costume. All right.
Oh, I love Mike Grell.
Yeah. I
love Mike Grell.
I don't know. They went through and really redesigned a lot of those Legion costumes pretty harshly. So
yeah.
Anyway,
Mike Grell actually did a piece for me of my character. I got it over there. Stench.
I'm trying to think of what Cosmic Boy's costume looks like under Mike Grell, though.
It's better than she was saying that Stench has just finished with his answer. That's better than roommates using permanent ink to redecorate your face.
Oh, that's if you fall asleep on their couch. Don't do that. Don't fall asleep.
Well, it's better than having your eyebrows shaved.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Stench says Imperial Void, I'm sorry, but Lord Fanny rocks that costume better. Joe Deven, if he says, want to cease and desist effect usage of a creator like Alex Ross does one when AT&T take this stance. It makes the precedent that rights doesn't truly transfer when buyout happens.
Well, yeah, that's you see, Disney ran out of ways to extend the copyright, so now they have to move on to different ways to screw everybody.
I love Mike Grell, Cosmic Boy War.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm not sure if that's skin tone or if he's just got a tight costume on. But during that,
I love Mike Grell.
During that period, they had a lot of open air, shall we say, costumes. So I'm not sure which one that is, but here it is, right here. Boom.
Oh, is it that the costumes they keep complaining that you draw the women like that, but what if a guy? It's like look,
exactly.
Mike Grell.
I think
at least his nipples are covered.
I think like Captain America, like Steve Rogers had a variation of that too.
Yeah. I think Lola has that.
There was a point that everybody was wearing fetish outfits.
Nomad and
comics okay.
Falcon used to have wide open chests like that too. Yeah,
I think like Lola has that costume.
More like it's Mike. Are you okay?
I'm telling you, Lola has that lingerie outfit. She has that. I've seen it.
In later versions, they just colored it pink.
Right.
So I'm not sure if that's actually that's probably pretty flesh tone there.
Yeah.
That's his skin. He's out there.
That's
amazing.
That's magic.
Someone, yeah. I think what Mike probably forgot. He probably forgot a line, and they were
that's the future.
Yeah.
Who needs clothes?
It's kind of like how, according to Mad Max, we're supposed to all be wearing bondage gear by now in the wasteland.
Well, I'm exploring that.
Grell confirmed it was skin.
I mean,
men only want one thing, and it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
That is Randy. I gotta get out of here. Can you can.
I would imagine Cosmic Boy got hit on a lot in the 23rd century wearing that running around.
Yeah. There's no more lines, Cosmic Boy. There's no more lines.
That's a plunging neckline to no end, right
there. That is
there.
Beyond a plunging neckline.
You gotta run.
I gotta run, but I want to thank everybody for being here.
So do we. We might as well just.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we're close to the end there.
Yeah, we're pressing at the 2-hour mark anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you handle it. I'm gonna dip out of here.
Well, tell everybody where you can be found then.
Sure.
On your way out.
KYD_V on the Twitter. People are going to go to Twitter. Like, what is Twitter? And they don't go to Twitter.
It took me a while to figure out what Russ was talking about.
Yeah. On our Twitter, Varying Ground on Facebook. Last Call Comics, my publishing company, lastcallcomics.com on the web. I got a store there called The Brewery. Check out some books there, buy them, and help me support my trifling video game habit. As well as Last Call Comics is Indie Volt and LEDG.US distribution company. We are distributing comics to comic stores. Your independent comics, get them in there, send them to us. We'll get your book into a store, into the greasy hands of comic book fans around the world, like mine.
And before you leave, do we have radio numbers?
We do. Doing pretty good this morning. Actually, coming out of Germany, we are sitting at 42,645.
42,000. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Bringing it in.
That's good.
Yeah.
Germany bringing it in.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. I will see you all later. They're gonna hang out for a little while, like minutes, seconds later.
Yeah.
But I gotta get out here. Yeah. All right, you guys all have a great day.
We'll give the spiel while you're gone.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
I'll talk to you guys a little bit later.
All
Ciao.
right. You take care,
Bye.
Varian. We'll see you.
Bye, Varian.
John, tell everybody where you can be found.
Well, you can find me on Indiegogo right now. I'm in demand with John Celestri's comics because I've got a whole range of it. But the one that's I've launched is Bloodwing Angel, and I think you should enjoy. People who think I only do children's books. Children's comics will be surprised.
Well, if you like rock and roll,
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah. If you like rock and roll, if you liked heavy metal magazine,
yeah.
it is. Yeah. If you want to see what it was like doing comics in the '60s for head shops,
Yeah.
it has that kind of vibe to it.
Sure.
And I'll just leave it for that. We're in March. I'll probably have the first two floppies, two 32-page books, 28-page books, in print,
Cool.
ready to go on that. So, but check it out. There's plenty of material, and you can get me on Celestri at Celestri John on Twitter. On Facebook, I'm John Celestri. I'm in John Celestri. Google me. CELESTRI. Great. Thank you.
No, thank you. Daphne, where can people
Well,
find you?
if fantasy comics is your thing, go to EgoWorks, EGOWORKS.com, and talltalesonline.com, TAILS, where you can read both my comics for free online and sign up to get regular updates about my upcoming Kickstarters. And if you're also into art tutorials, demos, and the occasional rant and commentary, you can find me on YouTube at Daphne Lage, LAGE Art.
Good. John, are you going to be available Sunday morning?
I don't know. I may.
Okay.
Do you want to talk to me? You want to go to church?
Well,
we having communion breakfast?
Yes,
Is that
yes.
what we're doing?
I gotta finally bring down my wacky Italian Disney comics
Yeah.
that I got from Dark Horse.
well, I was thinking if you wanted to come on Sunday, we could talk Undergrounds on Sunday Funnies.
Sure. Okay. Let's try for. I may not get you at 9 o'clock, but I might
Sure.
hit you for the 10 o'clock mass.
Okay,
If
Yeah,
that's
that's
okay.
Yeah.
that's fine.
that's fine. You can find us. We're part of the Indie Volt podcasting network. You can find us on Indie Volt Radio at indievolt.com. You can listen now online. It's a 24-hour streaming internet radio service that when we're not running podcasts like this, you can listen to some great independent and alternative music programmed by the indie princess herself. It's available at you can get an app on Google Play. You can get an app through Streama if you'd like, or if you ask Alexa nicely to play Indie Volt Radio, she knows where to go and how to hook you up. You can listen from there. We also have a Roku channel on your Roku, Indie Volt TV, where we show wrestling programs, movies, and we also play videos of podcasts that are a little bit longer form than what you would find on YouTube, and that you watch here on Facebook because the restrictions are a little bit more open. over there. We can say and do pretty much whatever we want on the Roku, and can't quite do that on the other platforms, especially anymore, for some reason. We are always interested in your comments and suggestions at indievoltlive@indievolt.com. Please email us and let us know what you think of the program. You can include IndieVolt Live in the subject line. You can include Breakfast Buzz in the subject line as well, if you'd like. Please keep those emails to 90 words or less so that Varian can type them on a card and we can discuss them on a future program. And I've been part of your host, Randy Zimmerman, and you can find me at Facebook or on Facebook as Randy Zimmerman. I'm on the twaddle, as they say. I'm on Twitter as Randy Zim. I don't go over there very often, but when I do, it's over there. And I have the Zim Geek channel on YouTube, ZIMMGEEK. If you'd like to go over there, please like and subscribe that. While you're over there, please also, please, we beg you, if you haven't yet done it, please like and subscribe to the IndieVolt channel over on YouTube. We really want to boost our subscriber list. Our viewership count is up to a nice level, but we need more subscribers because we're really looking forward to the day when we can be monetized, we can take super chats, and then we really have to worry about the content of this program. From the wonderful algos and idiots over at the people who like to ban people, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, other than that, we will be back Sunday morning. Sunday. Yes, for the Sunday Funnies, where we talk about the more lighthearted and more unusual side of comics. Hopefully this week, maybe we'll talk about those underground books. If I get a little bit of a chance. The next couple of days, I'll go through and dig through my stash and see what I can find and shake some people up with some old memories and show some crazy stuff, and hopefully avoid nudity as much as possible. No promise.
9 lives of Fritz the cat. Let's go. There you go.
Have to be really careful with some of that material. Anyway, then we'll be back Tuesday evening for the what Varian likes to call the IndieVolt Live Wire program. That's just the IndieVolt podcast. It's on at 9 p.m. All of these times are Eastern Standard Time, so please adjust your clock accordingly. Then on Wednesday, the Indie Princess usually hosts Geekgasm. In fact, she was just there yesterday. Yes. Made a small appearance. She's been out incapacitated due to surgery. And hopefully she will be back running that show very soon. If not, then Meredith Logren and our Daphne Lage will be there. To hopefully give you comics and genre media from a more feminine perspective. It's a little bit more adult than the other shows are.
Last night got a little raunchy,
and can tend to be
Girls
a little bit
gone wild.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, comic girls.
Exactly, comic girls gone wild. And then again, we're going to be back here next week, next Thursday at 9 a.m. for that Breakfast Buzz, yet again, where we pour the coffee and talk about comics and stuff with whoever we can find that's awake enough to join us. So we deeply appreciate everybody listening. We love you out there in IndieVolt Radio Land, wherever you're from. We can't stress that enough. We hope everybody stays safe and healthy, and that you be careful in these times. Make sure if you have a cloth mask that you actually wash it often, because we don't want you breathing in your own bacteria. Exactly. That could sometimes be even worse than catching any type of bug out there you're trying to protect yourself from. So in the meantime, we wish you only the best. We are working on doing an anthology book of our friends and family here on IndieVolt that we are calling IndieVolt Revolt, that we will probably mention and talk about a lot more on Sunday, because it's kind of almost underground. Some of the material that we're getting in is such a wide variety of material from a wide variety of creators that it's going to turn out to be a great product, and you'll be hearing more.
I'll bring the originals I'm working on so that we can show them off. Yeah,
that'll be great.
I'm almost done. I got 3 more pages.
Oh, great. I honestly can't wait. That's going to be great. And Daphne, by the way, is working on a mischievous story.
Sexy.
How many lines are you
way back when?
Too many.
How many lines?
Well, comics.
Oh, well,
I mean,
I have two of mine, and then I'm working on. To tell you the truth, it's very rare that I work on like something like for Randy. So that's unusual.
I just
for
happened
me.
to mention off the cuff. Well, if you're interested, you can even do a mischievous story if you want.
And
they're like,
then,
really?
yeah.
Okay.
And then we jumped on it. But
We're-
yeah, it's
we're
like
on it.
he's probably the only person we've done this type of work for.
Yeah, deeply appreciate it. It's going to be a fun story. It's going to be a great book. It's going to be a
Uh-huh.
phenomenal book. And that's a character from Tales from the Aniverse that I printed back in the 80s and 2000s. That's where Mischievous is from. So in the meantime, everybody, we'll see you again on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. We appreciate you listening. Last minute comments going out the door. Loves Mike Grell. It is skin. Grell confirmed it's skin. Yep. I'm sure he did. It's all good. Men only want one thing. Yeah. There are more comments down here. I don't think I can get to them. There we go. Heavy metal was epic. Yes, it was. Maybe we'll talk more about that on Sunday morning. Thanks for the stream, fellas. I can now go to sleep. Have a good night, Stint.
Good night. Ciao.
Yes, good night and ciao, wherever you are. All right, I'm back in this too. Okay, cool. Another great talk, folks. Thank you, Glenn. Always good to have you there in the audience and with us. Great show, says Joe. Okay, and that's it for us, folks. Again, stay healthy. We'll talk to you soon. And you've been listening to the Breakfast Buzz on the Indie Volt Radio Network. And I am stalling for time as I move over to the brand. So we can run the salon.
Ciao.
Take care, everybody. See you soon.
Bye.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
We're putting the band back together.
Forget it. No way.
We're on a mission from God.
Do you draw the Flintstones naked?